So what are the wrapper classes in Java? Can you tell me the difference between a concurrent hash map and a synchronized hash map? And what is class level lock? So how do you write a filter? And what are the directives? So how do you test a private method? So we will start with core Java first. Can you tell me what are static blocks and static initializers in Java?
Static block, right? So static block, like it's a memory management only, like by using object we can call the method access, right? But there is no need of creation of objects. So there is no instantiation is required. If you are creating an object, right? So directly based on the class we can access it. So memory also, like it is creating the heap memories. So in order for methods and all, it will go for stack. So first it should the priority right will give for static only, static. After that it's a constructor. Then it is going for the object kind of things. So this is the hierarchy. So
Okay.
that's what static. Whenever without creating object we can access anything, right? So we can go with the static way.
Okay. So what are the coding standard you will follow to create a method?
Okay, yeah. So like usually the coding standard usually follow things, right? Should be a readable. Like if I'm going to create some related to insert, right? Insertion, I'm going to insert a book of entries, right? So I need to maintain the naming. Actually, naming I need to focus because the code should be readable also. So the time I need to make a book entry or a book insertion or insert book kind of thing. Method name I need to mention, as well as the I need to focus like a no need to create a multiple parameters. So required parameter we need to pause. If the parameter is too high, right, we can go with a model. We can create a customized model. We can pass it like that. Other than all the methods, more than like a 100%, if you are sure there is no exception comes, right, no need to write an exception. Otherwise, we need to handle exception. If it is a try catch or else in method level exception, whatever, but should handle the exceptions. Other than, yeah, object creation also we need to reduce. So whenever if required, we can create the object. Otherwise, we need to reuse the existing object.
Mm-hmm.
So this is majorly we are following because all the time we done the code development, right? So we'll do the code review. Actually, my architect is my lead. Actually, he is doing the code review. So
Hmm.
he will give the this kind of suggestions.
Okay. Okay. So what are the wrapper classes in Java?
Wrapper classes, right? Yeah, like a string, integer, not a int,
Yeah.
integers,
What is the
and
use of
like
that?
actually like a primitive data types we have, right? The primitive data types it won't have a null value actually. So initial value itself, for example, int is 0. So like that the initial value it is not a null. So for example, I'm going to create on map. So in this case, right, what is the key is, right? Preferred key is primitive type only, because primitive type it won't change even though it doesn't have any null. So even the primitive types, right, we could not able to change after assigning, right? So that is not a like a proper thing. So but if you are going with a wrapper class or else any other objects, so I'm going to create by instead of primitive type, I'm going to create on map with the objects,
Hmm.
primitive types. Sorry, wrapper class or else it's some customized object, right? It is like might be the value we can change anytime also, right? So that is the not right way. But wrapper class is also null is there, right? So it should handle a few cases. So that's what wrapper class will do it.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me the difference between a concurrent hash map and a synchronized hash map?
Synchronized hash map, concurrent hash map. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This actually synchronized and concurrent hash map both comes for to handle the threaded related things. So, for example, like a synchronized hash map, I'll tell. So, synchronized hash map is nothing but like it is also a map, but it is we are going to access in a single thread. So, just we need to make that it is a kind of synchronized. Normally, like we are writing a code, right? So, I have a one block of code. In the block of code, if I'm making that synchronized block, right? So, single thread only it will be enter, and after that completion, right? The flow will be executing same kind of thing. The hash map will be executed by single thread, so that what synchronized the thread. Concurrent hash map, right, it is had have some extra advantages kind of thing. It is a multi-threaded, we can access it like we can it is having a like a different set of buckets we have the concurrent hash map.
Hmm.
So for example, each and every bucket, right, we can do it insertion, and other bucket we can do it while doing insertion itself, we can read also it is possible concurrent hash map. That is like it is a updated map.
Okay. And what is class level lock?
Class level lock. Okay. Yeah, I heard that term, but exactly what I'm not done anything like. Might be it is a final class because we could not able to override outside, right? So I'm
No,
thinking like
no,
that. But
it is,
sure, I need to check. Yeah.
yeah, it is related to threads. So there are two
Okay.
types of lock: class level lock and
Uh-huh.
object level lock.
Okay.
Have you got some idea?
No idea. Mostly threaded, right? We are not externally doing any thread handling because a framework it is usually it is doing, right? So that's why thread have a basic and basic in the sense like what are the things it is doing, right? All the things I aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard the term, but how they are achieving
Okay, no problem.
synchronize not.
Just leave it.
Yeah, lock joints they will use to join the threads only, but yeah, lock I need to check sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So how do you convert a string into an integer?
string into integer,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, parse int we can do it, but like if it is an for example, I have a string 10, okay, so
Huh.
that kind of thing I can convert it. Like we have so many parses there, right? So like a parse int we can do it. The in the creation of conversion time itself, before that we'll give a praises we can convert it. If it
Okay.
is not converting, we can go with the
And how do you convert
yeah we have multi yeah
in,
sorry
yeah, how do you convert a integer into a string?
integer into string. Okay. Uh, Exactly, I'm not remember, but like parsing int, okay.
Oh,
String to int, it is converting. Then
okay.
it is integer two, like might be two dot two string.
W- No, there is a one more method which is called value of.
Value of okay,
Yeah. So
okay,
you
dot
can
value
use
of
that.
okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Mostly everything converting string to integer kind of things,
Hmm.
but rarely. Okay, yeah, but it is also needed. Yeah,
So how do
thank you.
you make a object immutable in Java?
Object immutable. Okay, customized object, right? Yeah,
Customized
yeah,
but
we
immutable.
can, yeah, yeah, I'm created one object, so that object I need to make it as a immutable, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a like a method, default method, you don't need to do any extra logic. So like a unmodified list, unmodified list is there. Yeah, unmodifiable, we have a feature, right? So we can, by using that, we can do it.
Sorry, what did you told?
Unmodifiable list, unmodifiable, if it is a map also, it is coming like that.
Okay. Now
Because
suppose,
we could not able to give final for that objects because objects inside that it should vary because reference only make it as a final, but inside that value we can able to modify it. So that's what we need to give this
can
unmodifiable
you
list.
name some of the immutable classes in Java?
Immutable class, string is immutable class only.
And why is
The
string immutable?
Yeah, actually, string immutable. Actually, like I told, right? Some a few things are because the string memory is totally different. Like all the objects we are storing, right? It is totally different. But it is a string is have some constant pool we have, right? So it is creating like that. That's what the string extra benefits. So even though, like I said, right, string is an object, but that object we can create in the key itself, like because it won't give the hash code collision, right? So it is having some advanced feature. That's what string only the immutable. But you want a mutable, right? So we can go with the string builder and string buffer kind of thing.
So string is immutable means the object of string is immutable. It should we can't we shouldn't change the object. Not supposed to change the object, right? Hello,
Hmm.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Hello.
Yeah. So string object should be immutable. There is some steps to follow to make a class immutable so that its object will also be immutable. Okay. So what are the steps you need to
Okay.
follow to make a class immutable?
Class immutable, right? It's a
Yeah.
class. Like I don't need to write a class as a getter method, setter method, because the
Yeah.
setter only the value changes, right? Like all the variables I need to make as a private, because I need to stop from outer side access. Okay, so all the thing is private. Then like I need to make as a only getter method, not a setter method. So this thing is mandatory. Other than I need to make a final class, like I could not able to override it.
Okay.
So other than yeah, this is some major things I think,
Okay. And
because the setter is major thing. Like a setter is like every time like a dot set, we are giving all the values, right? So that thing need to avoid.
coming to Spring Framework,
Yeah,
you have experience in Spring Framework, right?
yeah. Spring Boot actually have a more, because around 4+ years I'm working in Spring Boot and microservice also.
Okay.
Spring also having a basic things and a minimal idea, because I have worked Spring also.
Okay. So can you tell me the difference between request param and path variable?
Request param and path variable.
Yeah.
Request parameter, okay. Path variable, it is coming in get actually, right? In the get itself, we can get a slash, that is a path variable. Okay, request param, right? That is also
The,
similar only. Like all the things are input we are passing in UI, right? URL, that URL only. So that is a three is there. Request param, and then slash of path variable and query question mark kind of thing, right? So these three we can get it.
so these are the annotations.
Sorry.
These are the annotation we use while using the while creating the controller class.
Hmm.
Do
Yeah,
you
these
know?
are inside that method, like a method we are having, right? For example, I have a get method, get
Hmm.
mapping. Inside that get mapping, I need to write on a normal method kind of thing, right? Method, inside that method, parameter we need to give, right? What are the parameter we are receiving? That time we can give. Even
No.
Swagger also have the annotation. That's what I'm just thinking. Same
Okay.
request param, Swagger also have the same annotation.
But method parameters are different. I mean, you can't compare
What?
the request param with method parameter.
Request param,
Okay, so
path variable only you
let me
said, right?
give you some hint that these are used to
Uh-huh.
extract data from URL.
Ah, yeah, correct.
So request param
Yeah,
is
correct.
used to retrieve query parameters,
Okay.
and path variable is used to retrieve values from the URI itself.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah, got it.
okay. So what is the dispatcher servlet in Spring?
Dispatcher servlets, right? Actually, long back used. Let me recollect it. Dispatcher servlet. Okay. It's a servlet related, right?
Yeah.
Even dispatcher is available in Spring also, I thought.
No, it's a serv. It's
Yeah,
a kind of
dispatcher is,
servlet.
yeah. Is dispatcher is nothing but like a it's a kind of a like a triggering to service or that kind of thing, like dispatching to some like I'm going to hit on request controller, it is going to service, right? So that's what a dispatcher is doing,
Okay.
dispatching the request to respective things, respective service or respective mapping classes.
Okay. So you have experience
Because right
in.
now purely, yeah,
Okay, you have experience in Node.js as well, right?
not a angular thing.
So you don't have experience in Node.js?
No, Angular 6+.
6 plus, okay. So, and what is the latest version of Angular you have used?
No, 6+ only, because directly I worked on direct Angular 6 version, because like my project they are using front end, so I'm directly doing the development. It's not a I learned from theoretically, so might be I'm not fully aware of the terms wise, but
Okay.
I'm also doing all the related works, like component creation, everything. Even I'm doing logics, grid related part, routing related also, few
So
things.
how do you write a filter?
Filters. Okay, filters or formatting by pipes. Filters, like a normal filter method only we can do it, a filters kind of thing. Validation things, right?
Okay. No, but how do you write it in Angular?
Okay, in component class, yeah, in component class we'll do that. Component class normal as it is method is there, right? So by using the normal creation of method, inside it I can do validations. So what are the forms we are created, right? Might be we are using form reactive forms. The form builders anyway, while values are setting, right? While click on the submit, right? Submit time, we have one method, right? Submit on submit, right? We have one method. That method side we are checking all the validations, so data is present or not. If data is not present, like we will give some error message or else highlight notification kind of thing.
Okay. And so suppose you got a object from Java
Okay.
side, you got a object, a JSON object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you want to convert this JSON object as a JavaScript object to use it in your web page. So what is the process
Mm-hmm.
you going to follow there?
Okay, I need to actually in Angular also I will create interfaces because it's kind of a data. What are the model we are having in the Java, right? Similar kind of model I have create. Like by using observable, right? We are exactly mapping it. So what are the return type it is coming, right? For example, response I receiving, right? Response dot body, what it is body, right? Body in body only we are sending all the data, right?
Hmm.
JSON kind of data. So that thing we are directly mapping.
Okay, and what is dependency injection in terms of Angular?
Okay, dependency injection, right? As per my understanding, right? So like other component we are injecting to that parent component to child, child to parent, like so because I need to pass the data. That's what dependency injection.
So in Angular you also have controller, and in Java you have I mean in both Java and in Angular you have controller. So can you tell me what is the difference between them?
Yeah, like in Angular, I'm saying, right. So it is the my understanding because Java I can clearly tell the difference. But in Angular, I thought it is a router because router only doing all the things. So I thought it is a controller. But because in Java we are creating REST controller, that thing we can identify it. But Angular, my understanding, if it is a router or else a service.ts file.
Okay.
Usually, like a service.ts file, what it will do, it is for communication purpose. Like a HTTP call, it will make it is connecting to the Java class, so Java controller. So that's what it is doing. Like a get call, it is a post call, plain it is HTTP call only. That time we need to pause the whole path, like it is a host path, a local path, or else the URL plus the what are the request we are passing. If it is a get, we need to directly pass the value, or else it is in like a form, old form we need to send in the format of expected model kind of thing. So in backend, right? So the controller will handle all the things. Controller will receive the request, and it should decide to go where it is. The request should go. Like if it is do any business logic, it is passing to service layer, and it is direct like a fetching kind of thing. Directly go to the repository, or
Hmm.
else like a it is after validation it should go means a service will take care to a repository. So this is the flow it will go.
Okay, and what are the directives?
Yeah, like a directives in the sense like it is used to do some logics in the HTML way. So in HTML attributes we can do it like a kind of thing for. So this kind of thing I'm using.
Okay, and there are two directives, ngif and
Mm-hmm.
show. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so what is the difference between them?
Ng if and ng show.
Yeah.
Ng show no idea actually. That's what so many theoretically I'm totally zero because I'm not learned anything Angular because
Okay.
I just related to Java. So almost everything is similar, but like a few logics totally different. Like it is kind of totally different feature usages. So majorly directly working on that. We are totally working the age grid actually. The material component is that right?
Okay, so
So
that means you have
yeah.
more command in Java side, not in Angular side.
Yeah, it's like my primary skill is Java only. Angular recently I'm working, but it is I'm okay comfortable only because I'm no need to get a help from anyone, but I'll do
Okay.
Google only. So I can single hand I can handle it the Angular work also.
Okay.
But like I'm a pure like a before 2 years I'm totally in Java side only. Like how I enter into that Angular, right? I'm already worked on JSP actually, so little knowledge on JavaScript. But it is JavaScript is a huge thing. Like I could not able to learn all the things, but I am okay with the basic ideas. So
Okay.
JSP it is almost a HTML kind of elements, right? We need to use. So same thing, HTML also not a total different for me. So I'm easy to work on the HTML part, CSS part. This
Okay.
Angular 6 is
Okay,
really
got
helpful.
it.
Easy to grab the things.
Okay, so in Spring Boot, you have different types of beans, right? Singleton, prototype. So, what is the practical
Yeah, correct.
use of that prototype bean?
Prototype, no idea actually, because internally how it is working prototype. Actually, usually the singleton only we are using, I thought, because all the Spring, right, all the Spring framework, Spring Boot framework, internally it is using a singleton only because Bean have only one initializations. Prototype, no idea. Prototype design pattern, how it is, how should behave, also no idea. But singleton
Okay.
multiple way I can point it. For example, like all the beans is singleton. Even for a database connection should be a singleton only because
Mm-hmm.
all the while I'm starting the application, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
is a singleton only. So every time no need to create the object for that database connection.
Okay,
But
and
prototype,
how you
yeah,
are connecting with your database?
yeah, like we are having a properties. If it is a respective environment, we have a properties, right? For example, it is test or QA. In properties file, we have that all the credentials, and so we are using a Spring Data JPA, right? So all the persistent methods are available. The connection only is the main focus. The connection we have a separate config.java file, like a database connection Java file. In that data source, by using the data source, we can create the connections.
Okay.
That is the main thing. But connection once established, right? So no need to take care of that thing. Just for repository.save default so many persistent methods that like a find by fetching kind of thing, find by respective columns name, and if it is a order kind of thing, find by combination of little complex queries, right? So I can go with the native queries like art query annotation by using it, right? The complex queries I will do it.
Can you give me a logic? How
Yeah.
how would you code to check if a string contains only digits?
Okay. String contains only digit, right? String contain only digit. Okay, I have a list of things like you said, right? List of values I have, list of strings I have, but few of the list have numbers also. Correct?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Already we discussed, right? Conversion value of by using, right? Even parse int integer to parse int and yeah, that's in stream itself we can do it in a single line. Streams dot I'm going to filter it. Filter in the filter logic I need to use the lambda, right? Lambda of that particular element dot. I'll get that list. It is going right. Dot parse int I need to do. I need to throw the exception also parallelly. Dot contains also dot contains parse
Hmm.
int if it is true, then I can go to collect it.
Okay.
Dot collector dot collect list. Yeah, we can
Ha-
do it.
okay. Have you used Java 8?
Yeah, Java 8, purely Java 8, around 4 plus nearly.
Okay. So what
But
is
version is 11 version, JDK 11 version we are using, but
hmm.
the coding standard 8 we are using.
Okay. So what is the default method in Java 8?
Default interfaces, right?
Default method in
Functional interface.
interface.
Yeah, actually, previous all the interface, right? It is as usual interfaces like a concrete method. There is no definition inside it, only declaration only. But in functional interface, right, have a added feature, a few restriction also. We need to create one concrete and as much default, as much static we can create. It's like common logic we can write it. So by using the functional interface, right, I can need some common logics, so I can achieve by using the default and static.
Okay.
That's the best way. Even I can give the, for example, for a default, right? For each a default method only. So for each is already default method. So we are using, right, for iteration.
And what type of design patterns you have used?
So design pattern singleton externally not yet used because it's a framework related, right? So singleton handled, where and all used. And other than, right, delegate pattern, it is for structural related pattern. So delegate pattern we are used. So delegate pattern is nothing but I'm hitting on request, right? Every request should go controller and service and repository. This is the flow. but I can, a few cases I can directly try from control to repository also. For example, I told, right, it's a persistent, right? So I need ID only, get all the user IDs. Based on the ID, I can get all the data. So from controller, I can, in controller easily I can get the all the thing, right? Find by find all IDs, like. So by using the persistent method, I can get all the methods. But right now we could not able to go do like that. In controller layer, I could not access the repository things. Everything go with the service and then interface of implementation, like that it will go. So I could not directly access the repository layer from anywhere. I need to go service, then only I can do it. So this is the thing flow, delegate.
Okay. And have you done writing test cases or JUnit
Yeah,
test cases?
we are using JUnit for controller classes only, but few services class we are trying to do it, but all the services class we are not achieving it. But we are using the Mockito actually.
Okay. So what is
Mockito
the
difference
use
we
of
are,
Mockito?
yeah, like injecting mock data. Like instead of doing hard coded, right? So Mockito will have so many default mocks, right? So we can use that.
Okay. So in class level, you need to test a method which is a private method. So how do you test a private method?
Okay, private method, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, private method usually, like for example, I have one method, so I have one class, right? In the class, one public method should there because I need to access that method. Then something, for example, right? Clearly I can tell like a user entry. So I'm going, yeah, registration I'm doing, right? So the registration time, from controller to anyway, I need to pass the value to service. In the service, I have a registration method. Inside the registration method, I need to do so many validation, right? So I will do all the validation in private method. So this case I'm going to test, right? Test cases also I can go with the public method. What are the method I have? From the public method means I'm doing the mock values and the control the compiler, like it is going to service layer of public. Then from public to I can access the private. So that is what directly private method we could not able to access. That's what the scope we are creating the private, right? But we can go with a few things like a reflection by fields we can get it, but like for test cases is not required.
Okay. Okay. I think I have done from my side. Do you have any question?